So what I'm saying, hi, I'm Maria Devan, the girl next door. I'm going to read the double on YouTube with you. You wanna? Super top secret autistic development. That's what this is. I'm going to read the double Fyodor Dostoevsky on YouTube with you, and we're going to discuss everything that has to do with anything that we discover in this book. So I'm writing on my Facebook that the French culture was an influence in Russia, but so was the French language. I think there's a difference. I think the idea that the French language overtook certain aspects of the French or of the Russian culture is different from the idea that peppery French is spoken almost anywhere. Do you cook? Well, then you speak a little peppery French. And there are other French words that have, worked their way into the English language pretty much as they are in French. And that's because French had a very great philosophical influence over Europe as well as Russia. But Russia has always been the ugly cousin in Europe and there. Wow, I said that. So they've always wanted to be considered part of Europe, even though the Europeans, I don't think, really considered that they were part of Europe. I think the Europeans always looked at the Russians the way that the true Russian authors looked at Russia, which was separate. We should be separate, ideologically, linguistically. And one of the most comedic aspects of the idea that the French language overtook the nobility was that they all had to travel to get education. They all farmed their children out for the sake of learning to act French or European, and that the true culture in Russia fell to the serfs and the servants. It was up to the lower classes to be the actual Russians in Russian society, because these people, the nobility, the people that owned everything, had removed themselves like ugly second and third cousins from their own nation, not just linguistically, but also physically and politically, by too much travel and too much dependence on the French style of economics. Cheers, and let's have a beer.